Have you ever wondered why that person, the one who's maybe not as talented, somehow gets the promotion? Or why a genuinely great idea gets shut down for what seems like no reason at all? Well, it's because our world is shaped by invisible rules, unspoken laws of power that really dictate who gets ahead and who gets left behind.
See, these are the rules they don't teach you in school, but they define everything: our careers, our relationships, even our arguments. So the real question is, are you playing a game where you don't even know the rules?
Today, we're going to start decoding these hidden dynamics of power. And our guide for this is one of the most influential, and yeah, one of the most controversial, books on social strategy ever written.
To figure out these rules, an author named Robert Greene went on a deep dive through 3,000 years of history. He studied the rise and fall of kings, the moves of military geniuses, the schemes of clever courtiers. He was searching for the patterns that never change. And what he found? Well, that became the 48 Laws of Power.
Now, let's just get this out of the way. This book has a reputation. Some people see it as a cold, cynical manual for manipulation. But there's a completely different way to look at it, as a guide to self-defense. By understanding these power plays, you can spot them when they're used on you and protect yourself from just being a pawn in someone else's game.
And that's exactly what our goal is here. In this series, we're going to break down each law, not to teach you how to manipulate, but to arm you with understanding, to decode the psychology of power so you can navigate the world with your eyes wide open. And we're going to start today with the very first law.
Law number 1, never outshine the master. Now, this one might sound a little strange at first, maybe a bit old-fashioned, but it is deeply connected to some very basic truths about human nature. At its core, the law is really a warning. Always make your superiors feel comfortably superior. You might think that showing off all your talents is going to impress them, but if you take it too far, you don't inspire admiration. You inspire fear and insecurity.
You know, we all like to believe we live in a perfect meritocracy where the most skilled person always wins. But reality, it's just a lot messier. Real human relationships are driven by ego, emotion, and this powerful, powerful need for recognition.
So, when someone in a position of authority feels like their status is threatened by someone under them who's maybe a little more brilliant or a little more popular, their reaction is rarely rational. Think about this guy. Nicolas Fouquet, the finance minister for King Louis XIV of France. He threw a party that was so incredible, so spectacular, that it made the king feel insecure. And the result? Fouquet was thrown in prison for life. He didn't just outshine his master, he completely eclipsed him. So why does this happen? What is the psychological driver behind this kind of, well, seemingly irrational behavior? Let's break it down.
It all boils down to one incredibly powerful ancient drive: protecting social status. I mean, think about it. When someone feels you've made them look bad, their gut reaction isn't to praise your brilliance, it's to restore their own authority. And often, that means getting rid of the threat, which is you.
Okay, so this is the crucial point. This law isn't telling you to hide your intelligence or to sabotage your own work. Absolutely not. The real lesson here is to be strategic. It's about being smart and how you manage your relationships and present your skills.
So here's what the smart approach looks like. Let's say you have a brilliant idea. Instead of presenting it as your stroke of genius, you frame it as an extension of their vision. You ask for their advice. You make them a partner in the success. This way, not only does your idea actually happen, but you've also turned a potential rival into a powerful ally.
Ultimately, this is about navigating the world as it is, not as we wish it were. It's about avoiding pointless fights that are just about ego, so you can focus on what actually matters, influencing outcomes and making things happen. It's not about submission, it's about intelligence.
Mastering this first law is a huge first step, but really it just opens the door to understanding even more complex human dynamics. The game gets a lot deeper from here.
Because the key takeaway from Law 1 is that power isn't just about competence, it's about perception and psychology. Understanding the insecurities of others is often just as important as showing off your own talents.
And that leads us perfectly to an even more counterintuitive warning in our next one. We're going to explore law number 2, which dives into the dangerous line between friendship and power, and it reveals why the allies you trust the most might just be the least reliable.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative question that we'll answer next time. In the game of power, why are your friends often more dangerous than your enemies? We'll see you then.